That's right. It's the 8:05 post show here at the Wallex US Open of Surfing, presented by Pacifico. 8:05 post show here, and it was a beautiful day. It turned out beautiful. It was a little gloomy, a little gray this morning. The sun came out, the waves glassed off, and it was a beautiful day. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kaipo, along with the wonderful Rosie Hodge and the Hall of Famer, Peter Mel. Pete, your first impression of what you saw today?
Well, it felt like we had a couple seasons through the day. That's what it felt like to me. I mean, I had my sweatshirt on early. Didn't expect that to be the case since it's been so hot everywhere else, but it did turn into a beautiful day, and the action was good. There's some big moments, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, a lot to catch up on. Rosie, I like the mixed plate that we had today. We started with the Challenger Series for the women, then we moved into the women's longboard.
I liked it. You know, we just had... the longboarders really got the pick of it, though. I think there was that one heat in the opening round that was a little bit sus with the wind, but then it really started to glass off. The sun came out, and the longboarders put on such an amazing show.
Yeah, and when we look at just the depth of the field on both the longboard as well as the Challenger Series for the women, Peter, every heat's really entertaining because we started from the get-go with a lot of great surfing.
We did, and as expected, though. I mean, this is the best in the world. This is the first event for the women in the longboard. We did have the opening round, right? So it's a different format that they had to get used to, especially even with the women in the Challenger Series as well. Opening round, we still have a seeded round for them, but you know, again, there's going to be some moments that we'll bring up on this show that were pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a great moment with Tully White. She took the last heat of the day, took a win. She's into the round of 16, making North Stain proud. Tully's with AJ.
Yes, Tully, a very important way to start your 2023 campaign. How did you want to approach your heat?
I just wanted to go out there and throw as much as I could at it because, I mean, it's not an elimination first round, but obviously it's good to skip the second round at this event. Yeah, I knew that the girls I was surfing with, they rip and this sort of stuff, so yeah, I'm stoked to get a heat win.
As you should be. Your first time qualifying for the tour was 2019, so you're a few years into this now. How do you feel like you're settling in to tour life and getting into that competition mindset?
Yeah, I feel like this year is like kind of everything's kind of coming together really nicely. Got amazing support from the people that helped me out, but also just the local community, family, friends, Manly Malibu Club, and just everyone just really getting behind me, and yeah, just stoked to be on tour again.
As you should. We're stoked to have you. Congratulations. We'll see you in the next round.
Thank you. Look forward to it. And thanks everyone for getting up and watching.
Back to you.
That's great. Yeah, so I see Tully in the round of 16. Speaking of longboarding, we had some great heats. One of them, Rosie, was our defending world champ, Soleil Errico, came out here and put on a great performance.
Yeah, she really dominated her heat, Kapa, and actually chatting to her during the post-heat, she said this is the first time that she's actually competed since winning that world title in October last year. So, you know, it's such a tricky thing to do sometimes, is getting back into that competitive mindset once you've had such an amazing year and defending that world title, Pete.
Well, and you think about it, that's a long time. That's, what is it, 6 months, you know, to not be out of a jersey, not competing in the regional series, which we obviously, they're seeded right into this event. So again, it's going to take a little bit to knock the rust off, but didn't seem like she had any problem doing that.
Focused on her education at University of San Diego, Soleil Errico. 6.4, 5.83, 12.23. That was enough for Soleil to take the win over Haley Otto right here, as well as Luella Pace. But Haley Otto looking pretty smooth out there, south side of the pier.
Yeah, every heat that I watched today, I mean, these longboarding opening rounds have been so impressed with the level of surfing. And the elimination round, where it starts to get a bit more gritty, when it's a woman-on-woman action, I think that's when things could start heating up.
Yeah, Haley was just not able to get, you know, the variety and the length of ride, but made it pretty close right there. That was a 6.67 for Haley Otto. And Luella Pace, her first time on this World Longboard Tour. kind of getting used to the competition, Pete.
And this was like, yeah, and she did well. You know, this was a big adjustment because if you look at the footage that we saw earlier in the day, it was a whole different day. So, I mean, kudos to them to be able to adjust to the different conditions. You know, the sun came out. I guess that adjustment from the cold and windy to the nice hot and glassy is a much easier transition, but it was different. It was a pretty wild change that happened right there in that middle of the day.
Yeah, but the good thing is in that opening round for the women, nobody loses. Second and third going into, it's going to be one-on-one matchups in that elimination round. And then, of course, we saw Soleil go into the round of 16. Same deal for the Challenger Series that we started off this morning with 4 surfer heats. And it was a youngster that you know pretty well, Erin Brooks. She came out looking outstanding.
Yeah, she is just in such hot form at the moment. Good to see her put together a really good heat. She mentioned in a post-heat interview that she had a disappointing heat in Bolido in South Africa. So being able to kind of learn from that experience and come out here swinging at the US Open, making subtle adjustments and surfing with a lot of confidence, Pete.
Yeah, and she mentioned that she had been spending some time at Waco, and that helped her to prepare for this event here, just to give her the confidence. I mean, she is one of the stalwarts. She's one of the most progressive surfers we have at such a young age. She didn't have to display it today in, you know, going above the lip, but rail work, the quickness that she carried, she pretty much dominated this heat.
Nanaho Suzuki as well. Put it together, 9.87 two-wave total for Suzuki. That was enough for her and Brooks to advance into the next round. Unfortunate for Eve Leula Wong. Just couldn't get that backup. Had a 5.2, but the 4-point backup was not enough for Eve. Paulina Doe. We're going to see her exit competition as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer for Pauline. I mean, a veteran here, and she would have pretty much relished in these conditions. You know, she'd go up the beach breaks in France, so it's a bummer to see her go down.
Also, just a back-and-forth battle for that second place with Nanaho and Eve in those last few exchanges there. So that was a really fun heat to watch. Got super exciting at the end.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the trend here for 2 days at the Wallex US Open of Surfing. But when we talk about the Cup Noodle wave of the day, we got a wave of the day to share with you. Let's talk about Silvana Lima and excellent surfing, progressive surfing. Rosie, it was an exciting moment.
Do you know what? I know she didn't air because I heard everyone go nuts, but this is the first time I'm getting a look at it. Wow, incredible. That was pretty tweaked, Pete.
Yeah, and she had a very rough start to this heat. I mean, 4 waves with just, you know, 1s and 2s, and then all of a sudden she kind of had this one turn where she was able to whip it around and showcase that variety she has. 6.33, and then right into that wave. You know, and within 2 minutes, she put up this huge numbers in this heat. But that right there, I wanted to see it go excellent. I'm glad the judges went to the 9.33. There was a couple 9.5s in the score line, well deserved.
Yeah, it was the highlight of the day, and that's why Cup Noodle brought it to us. We want to see more of that from Silvana Lima, the veteran, moving on, and I'm excited to see what the future brings us there. And speaking of the future, Pete, what is the future? Well, we're going to ask Surfline and see what they have on the charts. You can talk us through the Surfline forecast.
Yeah, well, we still having a bit of south swell out there. You can see that inconsistence at times. That's the swell run that we've had. You can see a couple different pulses, right? You saw the energy of that storm kind of bulb up and stuff. So we're going to see these energies kind of change through the week. We saw it at 3 to 5 feet. We're going to see it do it again tomorrow. There's supposed to be a little extra pulse in action. We also have some subtropical action too. There's some disturbances off of Cabo, and that's always helpful. If you look up there, there's going to be some of that. So ultimately, we've been very fortunate because there hasn't been a lot of surf. And to have it here now, I mean, as you go into tomorrow, there's still 3 to 4 foot. We'll see it decline again, but see that Thursday?
Ooh.
Got another bump back up. And hopefully hold through the weekend. You know, wind conditions will probably be similar to what we're seeing. We're going to see that southerly flow. That's just part of the deal here in the summertime. Maybe some fog in the morning, and then it's going to get sunny and beautiful. That's my fingers crossed that happens.
Thank you to Surfline, and it is an encouraging forecast given that we've had years here where there was nothing on the charts.
Yeah.
So the fact, like, I don't really care about the wind that much as long as the waves are breaking.
Oh, totally. This swell that we have on offer is just so contestable. Even Silvana, when she said she got down to the beach and she saw the wind, she's like, this is air wind for me. This is something that can be an advantage. So if you're that kind of person that can really pick up on these things and pick an advantage, and some other times people are complaining about it, that's a good attribute to have.
That is. And we'll see how things play out. Well, how things played out today, my favorite time, It's time for the top 5. Top 5 moments of day 2 of the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing, starting with Sol Aguirre and her performance in the round of 48.
Wow, Sol is just coming out swinging. I love her form that she's carrying. I mean, she's just gone from strength to strength. I think as we watch her every season, she comes out and she's brought some new spice to her game, Pete. Obviously, that backhand surfing left-handers is what she would have grown up on in Peru.
Yeah, well, she made me put my foot in my mouth. And during this heat, I was talking about how the rights were the only way to really go. And then sure enough, she puts 2 numbers up on her backhand.
Number 4, Brazil's Chloe Kalman. Smooth, graceful, sliding through here, taking a win in her heat, Rosie.
Yeah, this is going to be my pick to watch in this event. Coming from the beach breaks in Rio, she's really enjoying the conditions at Huntington Southside, and she put on such a great display in this opening round.
Yeah, she's been spending a lot of time here in California, so she's accustomed. She hasn't had to worry about jet lag. She's here, she's planted, she understands what wax she needs. She understands what the wetsuits are going to be. She's been able to surf Huntington quite often, so very, very comfortable, and it showed in her performance today.
Yeah, great energy around this Brazilian goofy foot, and we'll see how it continues on into competition. Number 3, talk about next generation of surfers. That's on display right here, Rosie. Erin Brooks, rip it up.
She's looking alive. Erin is just, like I said, she's just kind of turned it around from Bolito, coming into this event, competing at the U.S. Open. That's a big thing. That's like this event carries so much prestige and history. And we've also had a lot of young winners break through. I mean, you think about Malia Manuel winning as a 14-year-old. You think about Lakey Peterson when she was still a teenager. Courtney Conlog. Erin Brooks can be that kind of story that we could track through the opening rounds.
Peter, number 2. Beautiful surfer from Queens Beach on the south shore of Oahu. Kelis Kaleopa'a, our defending champ, went out and took a win in her heat.
Well, she would be taking a lot of confidence at being defending champion coming here into Huntington Beach, and it showed in her performance this morning or this afternoon. Again, the grace that she has, she takes that Hawaiian style. She's got the beautiful hand placement, and it's something that you love to watch. You know, very smooth in some tough conditions. She was able to make it happen, so fun to watch from Kaniela.
And number 1, the air that woke us all up this morning, Rosie, Silvana Lima.
Yeah, this wins today. I mean, that was so impressive. Just beautiful stuff from the veteran. Just love this progressive element that she's able to bring to us. You get so excited watching her.
Yeah, 9.33. So I love that the judges gave that such a good number. You know, it was just one big move, but like that's where you're going to see the progression. It's their job to make them, push the. So surfers see that, you're like, oh, okay, that's how I got to get a 9. I'm going to go out there and do that myself.
I had fun today, Pete. What about you?
Yeah, cool. I did. Oh,
what about you, Rosie?
Every
Did
day.
you have fun?
Having fun.
Okay,
Always.
so we had so much fun today. Let's do this again tomorrow. You guys ready to do that?
And the next
Yep.
7
All
days.
right. Okay. Join us 8 a.m. California time. We're going to get going with another day here at the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing.
Welcome, surf fans. This is the Wallex U.S. Open of Surfing. We've got some of the best female surfers on the planet showing up. Things are going to get radical. First wave ridden of the day, 2-turn banger. That is how you want to start your heat, with some excitement. And when you follow it up with a backside snap like that, we've got a heat on our hands, folks.
Erin Brooks looking for a wedge. You can tell she's just so amped up to show the world what she can do. Sophia Medina, nice connection on the backhand snap.
Silvana.
Doing air.
Does the air. What you wanted, Pete, comes through.
I told you she does those aerials. That was proper.
Right?
Air wind. That was
what we
really
wanted
cool.
to see.
Everyone loves it. I loved it.
The best female longboarders in the world are hitting the water.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.